Get a hammer, some nails. Boys, we've got work to do. Go get rugs. Get some blankets.
But, Tom...
Better cover these windows. We don't want to freeze in here.
After all that's happened, with everybody against us...
And you're right. Don't run away, Catherine. Come on. Boys! Yes, hold on. Let's go. Nails.
Next week's Tuesday movie at 9 reconstructs the Cruise double murder case in New Zealand in 1970. As the hunt is on for evidence, the police are desperate to find a killer with a motive.
What have you done with the bodies?
I don't want to murder my own daughter.
What would you like me to do?
Oh, confess to the murders of Harvey and Jeanette Crewe.
A controversial court case surrounds the baffling murders. Beyond Reasonable Doubt is next week's Tuesday movie at 9.
In Eastern Eye, after the break, there's a look at the paintings of Sharon Lutschman. Vigilantes, a new play by Farouk Dondi, presented by the Asian Cooperative Theatre Company, and an interview with immigration spokesman David Waddington.
Your hands have a tough life, but care for them with Atrixo, and you can protect your hands and keep them soft. Atrixo, keep it on hand all through the day.
Every year, the Schmidts, the Mullers and the Reinhardts drive to their holiday villas. The Schmidts' car is slow and rather noisy, so when they arrive, they'll need another holiday to get over this one. The Mullers drive a big, thirsty car, which is probably at a petrol station somewhere between Munich and Marbella. The Reinhardts drive an Audi 100. A car so aerodynamic that it's capable of 125 miles per hour. Yet, at a steady 56, it slips along quietly for over 750 miles on one tank full of petrol. And the moral of the story is, if you want to get on the beach before the Germans, you better buy an Audi 100. Vorsprung durch Technik, as they say in Germany.
Who better than Thomas Cook to tell you where to travel to these days? They've moved to Peterborough, like us Romans did. What a nice view of the world they've got. And let's face it, Thomas Cook could have gone anywhere, like Julius Caesar. It wasn't just the beautiful surroundings that moved them. There are also thousands of feet of office space. I should know. We Romans invented the foot, and I've just measured the lot.
Free phone Peterborough for more about the Peterborough effect. It's been working for centuries.
A free auto quote could save you pounds on car insurance. So ask the operator for free phone AA auto quote tomorrow.
That certain something. Only Woman's Journal has it. Out now.
What's a holiday in Canada like?
I suppose it'd be quite relaxing, really.
It's all too mechanized for me.
I suppose you could rely on the steaks. They'd be all right.
How would you get anywhere?
Is it all skyscrapers?
It's all cowboys.
Canada? Well, I think I'd probably get rather bored at night. Where would you go?
Well, it's all right if you like barn dancing, I'd imagine.
Country and western. No, a bit too noisy and hectic for
Quite
me.
frankly, I've no idea.
There's more to Canada than you think. Canada. It's a bigger holiday.
From the first time I played at Mum's dressing table, I learned that good skin care is worth more than all the cosmetics in the world. That's why I use Moistura Moisturizer by Cyclax. It penetrates rapidly, leaving my skin feeling soft and beautiful again. Moistura Moisturizer by Cyclax, the skincare experts.
Soluble aspirin for children reduces their fever and relieves their aches and pains. And it's made by Boots.
What a relief.
Sorry, I'm on 24-hour call. It's the Hertz #1 club member. He's only got to sign one form. Keep the dinner hot.
It's not the dinner I'm worried about.
This true story may surprise you, but not us. At Hertz, we like to think nothing is too much bother.
Now, where were we?
Stereotyped images of the Chinese community are seriously questioned on Friday in Goodbye Chop Sui. In the first program ever produced by the Chinese in Britain, they take a look at themselves, their attitudes, and why their image is what it is.
Whenever they want to show a Chinese in this country, they show you in a takeaway. And the Chinese always sort of can't speak English properly.
That's why I can't get the R and
yeah, or file eyes.
But Chinatown is saying Goodbye Chop Sui on Friday at 11:15.
This is Channel 4, and now, Eastern Eye.
नशीले जेड़े गब्बरू निकले हुण नैन नी नशीले जेड़े गब्बरू निकले कोई एहो जेही सोनी मुटियार दा नी साक तू ले आ दे पापीए पापीए नी सुन पापीए नी पापीए नी सुन पापीए पतला ते दिल नू मोलवे मार जत लगदा हुलारा नी मोरा वाली चाल तोरे वाल खावे नाग वांगू वेख वेख आवे है नजारा नी होवे पतली पतंग मार सीने उत्ते डंग होवे पतली पतंग मार सीने उत्ते डंग कोई एहो जही अल्लड़ जवानी दानी नशा तो बड़ा दे पापीए पापीए नी सुन पापीए नी पापीए नी सुन पापीए नी पापीए नी सुन पापीए
Good evening and welcome to Eastern Eye. And as you may have gathered, we have Britain's most popular Asian band, Alap, in the studio today, and a load of their fans are also here. So थोड़ी देर में एक दो और गाने मजे के गाने वाले. But now let's get on with the show. We'll be talking to Alf Dubs, Labour spokesman on immigration. EastEnders Sheila Ghosh and Andrew Johnson drop in for a chat. And Alap play a couple of songs from their forthcoming LP.
Looks like we're in for a LARP a minute, eh? In our last show, we had a report on the high incidence of diabetes amongst Asians. It clearly worried many viewers because hundreds wrote in to ask for our free fact sheet. If you haven't received one yet, don't worry. We're working overtime to get them out as quickly as possible. But we move now to tonight's stories. Here's what we've got in store. Tonight, we take the lid off immigration controls, see why Asian pirates are walking the government plank, and stalk the trail of vigilantes in our arts file.
We begin with an issue that affects probably every Asian family in the country, immigration control. Last week saw the publication of the Commission for Racial Equality's long-awaited investigation into this area. Since the report came out, attention is focused on whether or not the much higher refusal rate for Asians and blacks can be justified on the grounds that there is greater pressure to immigrate from their countries. The Home Office claims it can, and the CRE maintains that it cannot. And this debate looks set to continue for some time. But we decided to look at another aspect of the CRE investigation, the hard evidence it unearthed of the discriminatory practices of the Immigration Service and the recommendations the CRE suggests for tackling the problem. Karan Thapa takes a look at the report and puts it to David Waddington, the Home Office Minister for Immigration and Race Relations.
The incriminating case against the Immigration Service contained in the CRE report has to do with the attitudes of its officials. To begin with, the report extensively documents the underlying racism in the world of immigration control. Here are just some of the quotations found on official files.
Moroccans from the immigrant areas seem like Murpuris to be both simple and cunning. The only way to discover if their applications are genuine is by thorough and skeptical examination.
Both Nigerians and Ghanaians are wont to tamper with their passports.
What makes this racism even worse is that it exists within a culture that interprets rejecting Asians and blacks as a positive achievement. The following remarks refer to Asian applicants.
Well done. Looks as if you've hit the jackpot again.
I want to do this re-interview myself. Hands off. This must be this year's strongest refusal.
Unfortunately, this looks like an issue. Applicant is reasonably established in Pakistan. I have no choice but to issue.
And the result of these two factors is that Asians and blacks suffer the most. According to the CRE, they are almost 30 times more likely to be rejected than white applicants.
I think they're evidence of an absolutely pervasive climate of racism in which decisions are made both overseas, at ports and in the UK. That's not to say that every file has the same kinds of disgraceful comments on it as those that are cited in the report itself, but I think they're very clear evidence of the climate.
As a result of this evidence, the CRE has made several recommendations to tackle the problem of racism in immigration control. It's called for an urgent review of staff training, a continuous monitoring of the operation of controls, and, most importantly, the application of the Race Relations Act to cover the immigration service.
The Commission would like the activities of the Immigration Service to come under the Race Relations Act to enable the Commission to investigate acts of discrimination or potential discrimination carried out by individual immigration officers or members of the service. We don't think government should, as it were, excuse itself from the right to, of other people to question whether or not it's behaving in a discriminatory way.
It's essential that the Home Office implement the recommendations in this report, because the recommendations are just about changes in practices to change the values of our immigration system in order to protect people's rights rather than attack people's rights.
So, to find out whether the Home Office will accept the CRE's recommendation,